healing the spiritual as an emotional. Now, as an emotional, your first connection is to your emotions, but the next connection to the beingness and the who you are and your magneticism is to the spirit realm, is to your spiritual self. And whatever that looks like for you, and whatever your religious or spiritual beliefs are, that connection is your magneticism. The information and the guidance you receive from spirit is helping you channel your manifestations. You get information like it's time. It's time to move, and you know and you feel the direction you're going. And you operate that way differently than anybody else because you feel so deeply through all of the dimensions, all of the colors, all of the spectrums. You know through your feelings what's true for you. And so an emotional who isn't connected to the spirit is going to have a hard time manifesting in a way that makes sense to them. They're going to be mostly a wallow of sitting in their emotions, and it's not ever going to translate to something in a way that makes sense to them. And so it's really important that the emotional recognizes what intuition is for them. Intuition is this connection to our higher selves, to our spirit, to our knowingness, and our feelingness as an emotional. And so if you don't trust that intuitive knowing in your body, then a part of you is disconnecting from that manifestation magnetization. And so a wounded spirit for an emotional looks like somebody who sits in a lot of fear energy, and a lot of I don't know what's going to happen, and a lot of I don't know that I can get through this because all I know is it's going to feel scary. And I don't have any information coming through about what possibilities even exist or what this could look like or feel like. My younger sister is an emotional, and her spiritual connection isn't fully connected because as a child, she was terrified. She had a lot of sight of spirits, and they would come to her, and they were very scary to her as a young child, and she asked to shut them off. She very clearly ordered them to go away and immediately disconnected herself from her spirit. And she didn't talk till she was almost 3. She disconnected herself from the intuitiveness of who she is because it was too scary, it was too big, it was too overwhelming. And so part of what she's going to have challenging for her is trusting that intuitive trueness of who she is, because she's disconnected and she hasn't allowed herself to feel the feelings that come through from that side. And so a wounded spiritual won't necessarily not be able to do anything, but their feelings are going to stay overwhelming, and it's going to start to bleed out into other areas of their life. And so working on healing that primary wound, whatever it is, whoever told you your intuition was wrong, if you've had visions that were scary and you shut it off, if you've had any version of disconnection from what your intuition, your higher self, your spiritual connection looked like, we have to go back there. We have to go back there and understand that we were trying to stay safe. We didn't have the understanding, and our feelings were so overwhelming that they took over. And so we reacted in fear, and we reacted in fear in a way that we needed to at the time. And if we want to now open up that connection, we can start to bridge through this feelingness that we are and start to open up this new relationship with our spiritual selves, this new relationship to the spirit world of possibilities, to our higher selves, to our higher knowings, to our friends and ancestors on the other side, to all of it. We will allow ourselves to start to bridge in information and receive through our intuition and through our feelings in our body what we know to be true about ourselves and the world. And if we can allow that rewiring to take place and that feeling to come in, our magneticism comes from that connection. Our most magnetic self as an emotional is going to be when that is amplified, when we are connected deeply to the spiritual self, and when we are connected so deeply to the spiritual self that we can feel exactly the direction that we are guided to go.